Let's talk about, one of the things that, you can't always control your traffic, but you can control how you view it and manage, or pardon me, what you can do with that information. Dan, talk to us about traffic and conversion and how retailers can pay more attention to that for the growth of their biz.
Well, traffic is one of the factors in your sales volume. And let's just remember what the sales volume equation is. Traffic times conversion times average sale equals your sales volume. 2 people in the door, I close one of them, sell them $100, my sales for the day are $100. It's that simple. Traffic is one of the factors in determining your sales volume. And we need to pay attention to traffic, both physical traffic and digital traffic,
right,
and understand, what levers I can push and pull to increase traffic to support my revenue. And then the second component there is the conversion or the engagement. How many people can I convert from a looker to a buyer, from a shopper to a buyer in this equation? The more people I convert, the higher my sales volume goes. And understanding why people aren't converting is just as important as understanding why they are converting. Were they in the right store at the right time? Did you have the right inventory for them, at that moment that they were looking for it?
Right.
And so paying very close attention to your traffic is a hypercritical act that you need to be, engaged in, heavily engaged in. What was my traffic today? Was I properly staffed? Was I over or understaffed? I can help to control some expense by understanding what my traffic is in my physical store. In my digital store, I need to understand why traffic isn't converting and start to remove barriers. When you're looking at your store and saying, I had 300 people on my site today and only 2 people purchased. Well, why is that? What are the barriers that are stopping them from engaging with you? Is your site properly? Are your products properly curated on your site? Are you catering to what that person wants, or have you got a page full of 300 items that they have to, thumb through to see your products? And understanding where people are exiting, how many people are abandoning a cart when they get there. So you really do need to examine traffic and ask yourself the why, the tough questions. And here's the answer, Rob. You decide. You tell me what the problem is, and then you fix it. Right or wrong, you take action. Oh, my products aren't properly curated. Oh, I didn't have a good, greeting and engaging conversation with that customer. I didn't pay enough attention to them. I didn't have the right products. Whatever the answer is, you decide, you put your finger on it, and then prove yourself right or wrong.
The on the traffic side, it's funny. We've talked about this before, but I couldn't imagine, like, for a moment, could you consider, we had a huge traffic day, like you counted traffic and then say, well, what were your sales? Well, I don't count my sales. I don't know what that was. That'd be crazy.
Right.
To know your sales and not know your traffic and like how the two affected each other. I think of the missed opportunity is just what you're talking about there. And on the digital side, there's the abandoned cart, and there's activities to try and, okay, what can we do to get your business back?
Right.
Physically, are there things that stores can be doing, like that greeting at the door, we'll call it the abandoned cart, but at the door, you don't have a bag in your hand. And is that, to you, is that where you're going to get the best understanding as a retailer, trying to figure out why
for
didn't
sure.
they
I mean,
buy?
the exit greeting, I think, is an important piece of your customers' engagement cycle in your store, and understanding why they're not buying is hypercritical. And there's never it's never wrong to ask a customer why they didn't buy. And I'll tell you this, we did a study outside of a very high traffic furniture store, like bus pull up and people flood into the store in a high tourist area. We paid a couple of high school girls to stand out and survey audiences as they came out of the store and ask them questions like, did you know the name of your salesperson? Were you greeted? And why didn't you buy? And the number one reason people didn't buy as they left that store is because no one asked them to.
Interesting.
Wow, nobody asked me to buy anything.
Pull the sales trigger. Yeah.
Right. Your store is not a gallery. Your store is not a museum. It's not a place for people to walk through and look in awe at all of the things they have. Your store is a place of commerce.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that our intention is to do business with our people that walk through the door.
They had to walk in with an ounce of purpose, and even
an
more
ounce.
in today's world. We know they walk in that store. I would say that's a pound of purpose, not an ounce.
And Rob, we were on a call with a client yesterday and talking about, their increased conversion ratios, their decreased traffic but increased conversion ratios. And we talked about, the reason that you're seeing this heightened conversion ratio is because your customer is walking in with purpose. They've made a decision to come to your store, to walk through your door. And, they have been told they're risking their lives to go out in public, right, and yet they're doing that. They've got a predetermined pathway to purchase, and you've got to acknowledge that. You've got to recognize that. And if someone's leaving without a bag, it's on you. You've done something wrong, not you've done something right. You've done something wrong. You've disengaged them. You've made them feel uncomfortable. You don't have the right product at the right time. And you've got to really objectively examine, hey, where was the miss here and how do I correct it? Because I may not get a second chance with that customer.